So, thank you all for coming tonight. Of course, you're here to learn all about Rocky Mountaineer, and we're very lucky to have Jennifer, who been with Rocky Mountaineer for a while. And I was very lucky to travel with Jennifer on Rocky Mountaineer this summer, and we had an amazing trip. It was a little bit unique, but it was still amazing nonetheless. So, I'm going to start a little bit about telling you about Expedia Cruises Team Friesen. You can see up there, I don't know where everybody's from, but we do have 13 open centers and soon to be two more. So I am sure you're close to one or work with a consultant by one. Jen, you can be my Vanna and skip the screen over for me.
Problem.
And so who is Expedia Cruises Team Friesen? This is Sean and Tammy, our franchise partners. They opened their first center in 2007 in Thunder Bay. So that is sort of our first store that we opened as our team. And within the next couple of years, we opened our second store, Sudbury, which is where I'm from. And I was lucky enough to be the manager who opened the store with Sean and Tammy and was there for a lot of years, almost 11 years as manager. And in that 11 years, we ended up having 13 stores. So we have a lot in the north. We have Thunder Bay, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, North Bay, and Barrie now. And really, I will be adding next year, she'll be joining us. And then, of course, we have our central with is our Burlington, Hamilton, Burlington North, and Ancaster Dundas, as well as Woodstock, soon to be St. Thomas next year as well. And then our nice deep south stores, Windsor, Sarnia, and Chatham, who are our newest. They just opened this year. So lots of great things happening with us. We do have over 450 consultants. So I like to say to people, what does that mean for you? Because you're like, I don't care, I have one. You know what? It just means that our team, between us, we have been everywhere. I may not have been to Antarctica, but if you're looking for Antarctica, you know what? I can call someone up on the team who's been there, who has that firsthand knowledge. And you know what? We're a team. So if you want to talk to them about their experience, we can do that. So that's something we bring to the table that no other center really does. So, Jen, I'm going to get you to skip ahead here a little bit. So this is some of our pictures. Oh, sorry. This is all our locations. I apologize. I forgot this one was in there. So again, St.
Okay.
Thomas really opening soon. And so here's our team, a little bit of everywhere. You can kind of see there's three pictures traveling. I have to say that is our, you know what, if you're in this business, it's because you're passionate about travel. I don't know anybody who's in the travel business and who wants to just stay at home. That's definitely not us. I'm pretty sure that's probably not your consultant that you work with either. So as you can see, there's three trips, and then there is Kathy at the bottom and Judy from, oh, and Monica, they're all there, geez, from our Hamilton Burlington stores. And then on the top right, that is our Woodstock store with Janet and Tammy. And we have one more picture, I believe. Nope, no, I'm lying. So there's some more pictures of our team all over the place. You can see from right in the middle, nice Rocky Mountaineer picture. And I didn't even put that on purpose. That's just there all
Oh,
the
sure.
So you're welcome. Wasn't even planned. And our last picture here, this is our leadership team. This is from our summer trip. If you want to skip ahead, Jen, I think this should be the last one.
Yep.
So yeah, so this is our leadership team. As you can see, we're on Azamara this summer. Each one of our centers does have a dedicated manager. Some of the larger ones might even have an assistant manager, and that is just to always be there to help our consultants. And again, so we're there to back them up. So even if they're traveling, you still have someone to go to. So we really like to tell people we are always available. So thank you very much for listening to that big spiel. And I am going to pass it over to Jennifer. Again, she is going to tell us all about Rocky Mountaineer. She's going to kind of share that we do have one of our own groups as well, but she'll tell a little bit about that. But if you want more information, please reach out to your consultant. So Jen, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Donna and Team Friesen and everyone for joining me tonight. I'm going to turn off my video just because I have some videos that I want to share with you this evening, and I just find it's a little bit nicer when we close out our personal videos. So I have to say, I'm very pleased to be here tonight to share Rocky Mountaineer with you. As Donna mentioned, I'm going to share with you what a day on board the train is like, of course, so I can get you really excited about joining us. Also, I'm going to walk you through our service levels, our routes just at a really high level, and highlight some of the features of those routes. We're going to go through the group departure that we have next spring. And then I'm also going to share with you a little bit about our promotions that we have in market right now. So without further ado, I'm going to get going because I hopefully you all have a glass of wine or a cup of tea for the next little bit. But truly, it is an extraordinary experience on board Rocky Mountaineer. There's nothing I love more than watching guests board the train for the first time and seeing those happy tears. I have been in this industry for decades, and I don't really know of another travel experience that resonates so emotionally with our guests. For most of you on joining us tonight, it's probably a bucket list trip for you, which is amazing. We also find that guests like to join us to celebrate milestone birthdays and anniversaries, which is truly really special that you're choosing to join one of our journeys to do that. And we also have a lot of guests that have overcome some health challenges, and this is their sort of treat to themselves coming through that experience more strong and resilient. So without further ado, I'm going to share with you a video. Now, there may be audio, you know what it's like with these virtual presentations. So if you can't hear anything, just relax, enjoy the photos. And if you're really interested, I can get Donna to send you the video and you can enjoy it at a later time. Here we go. Right, so hopefully I've set the mood. And as I mentioned, if you didn't hear the audio, no concerns. I really just wanted you to get a visual of what it's like to be on board the train. So for those of you that might not be familiar with Rocky Mountaineer, we are a Canadian company. We are headquartered in Vancouver, British Columbia. So we know the Rockies pretty well. And we've been in operation for over 30 years. We've been bringing guests through the Canadian Rockies on our 3 iconic routes in Canada. And don't worry, I will be going through all 3 of those routes with you at a little more detail. And then if you're really observant, you'll see that we actually have a route south of the border now. So that might be news for some of you. And that route was actually born out of the pandemic. So there were some silver linings out of that time in our lives. And we brought a train down to the US. So it aligns with what we do in Canada, having our guests visit our national parks. The US route operates between Denver and Moab. And Moab, just in case you're not aware, is the gateway to the Mighty Five national parks in the US. So when to travel? So we are the only daylight only luxury rail experience in North America. And because of that, Mother Nature dictates our schedule. So we operate mid-April to October. And I always get asked, well, when is the best time? What's the best season, Jen, to go? And that's kind of a personal preference. Each season has its features and its benefits. I personally enjoy traveling earlier in the season. So mid-April till about mid-June is kind of a sweet spot that I enjoy. And that's because there's still snow on the mountaintops. And of course, earlier in the season, you'll find that the wildlife are a little more active coming out of hibernation. And there's usually a little bit of a price break for the earlier April departures. When you transition into the summer months, one of the huge benefits are the days are longer, so you're going to have more time in destination to go and explore. One of the drawbacks, though, is everyone wants to be in the Rockies in the summer. So once July 1st hits and the kids are out of school, we do find that though Banff, Lake Louise, and Jasper do have a lot of tourists. So you just have to pack your patience and maybe be a little more flexible when it comes to making dinner reservations and things like that. And then transitioning to the fall, another great time to travel with us. The days are a little bit cooler, of course, and all the tourists have left the Rockies, so it's not quite as crowded. And of course, you will see some fall colors, plus the wildlife are preparing for hibernation. So wildlife sightings do increase in the fall months as well. So I'm going to kick off with Canada because we do have our great, awesome group departure with Team Friesen as well. But I'm going to share with you what a day on board the train is like. Okay, so because we are daylight only, we do start our mornings pretty early to make the most out of the daylight. So it's not uncommon for us to pick you up from our partner hotel around 7:15 in the morning. Keep in mind the day before you would have checked in with our guest center or your host for the group, and you would have received your boarding passes, your seat assignment, and of course your luggage tags. So the morning we pick you up at the hotel, you're not going to have to worry about your larger luggage. That's going to actually be tagged and taken separately by a truck to our midpoint hotel for the evening. So it's going to be waiting for you in your room. You don't have to schlep it with you on the train. All you need to bring on your Rocky Mountaineer journey is a day pack. So anything you're going to need and that day until you get to the hotel that night. So, prescriptions, glasses, chargers, medications, and of course your valuables. Just bring it with you in a tote bag or knapsack and have at your disposal. I always do recommend as well that you bring light layers or wear light layers on board the train. So if you know you're like me and you get chilly quite easily, you might want to bring a sweater or light jacket, although the domes are climate controlled. Everybody's, has a different internal temperature. Once you're on board, it is all inclusive. So you're going to be treated to a 3-course gourmet breakfast and a 3-course gourmet lunch. All of your snacks are included as well throughout the day, both sweet and savory. And of course, all beverages are also included. So that is both alcoholic and non-alcoholic throughout your journey. Hopefully you'll see some wildlife. That's always an exciting time on board. Our train managers will radio back to all of the domes and, we'll let everybody know there's a bear on the left and everybody runs to the left of the train to try to get a great photo or video of that particular species. And really, what makes us award winning year after year after year is our hospitality of our onboard team. They are spectacular. Not only are they there to answer any of your questions that you may have and, make sure that you're comfortable, but they're also master storytellers. So they're going to bring the journey to life for you. They're going to share stories about the flora and fauna, the history, the geography, and really immerse you in the destination. And some of them even share some of their own personal stories as well. And then, just in case anybody came in a little late, no sleeping on the train, which is great because everybody wants a good night's sleep. So we're going to come into our midpoint town that evening. We're going to whisk you away via coach to your hotel for the evening. And the best part is there's no queuing up. We will hand out your room keys either on the coach or on the train before you get to the hotel. So you can go straight up to your room, keeping in mind your bag is already there waiting for you to unpack. And then we'll do it all again the next morning. So when it comes to our service levels in Canada, our lead-in is our Silver Leaf. So that is a single level coach. Great for any of you that might have mobility challenges or perhaps just don't want to navigate the staircase after a couple of Pinot Grigios. But this is our lead-in, and it is just I love Silverleaf so much because you don't miss any of the action because you're enjoying your meals at the comfort of your seat. So I know when I say that, people always envision how uncomfortable it is to eat in economy class on an aircraft. It's not like that at all. If I had to give you an analogy, it's very similar to business class type of service where we bring linens and we bring silverware. You get to choose your main course from either 3 or 4 options. And of course, we have wine pairings throughout your lunch service as well. This is just an interior shot of Silverleaf, just so you can get, a great idea of the visibility. So you can see both horizontally and vertically to get those amazing photos of your journey to make all your friends and family jealous. Now, our upgraded service level is our Gold Leaf, and this is the service level that most people think of when they think of Rocky Mountaineer, and this is our bi-level coach. So you're going to be sitting up top and then dining downstairs. So this is an interior shot. As I mentioned, your boarding pass, we do assign seats up top here. There is no assigned seating for dining, just FYI, but it is absolutely spectacular. It's quite it just makes you feel so humble and so patriotic and proud to be a Canadian when you board the train. And this beauty is in our own backyard. The seats are heated. They have lumbar support. They have a nice little footrest that comes up, and they do recline as well. So they are very, very comfy, both in silver and in gold. Dining is downstairs, as I mentioned. So it is tables for 4. And I always like to share that just in case you're not comfortable dining with another couple, in this close proximity. So if that's the case, no judgment whatsoever, but Silverleaf would probably be better suited for you because Gold Leaf is always sold out, and we will ask our guests to make friends. So most of our Gold Leaf guests, this is a highlight of the trip, getting to know their fellow travelers. We've had people on board that become fast friends and then they continue to travel the world together or they stay in touch. So it's really, really special, the bonds that are forged while on board the train. This is just an older menu, but I wanted to just show you that what an extensive Gold Leaf menu looks like. This is a lunch menu, so there's usually 5 to 6 options for an entree. Everything is locally inspired and regionally sourced, so you're going to find lots of BC salmon and great Canadian wines on board. And also, I just wanted to share that if you do have any dietary restrictions or allergies, just make sure you tell the Team Friesen team at booking so we can note your file accordingly. So we can cater to pretty much anything on board. Now, diving into the rail routes. So I'm just going to share with you a high level and just the route itself. Keep in mind, we have seven different package types and all of that, and we literally would be here for hours if I went through them all. So I'm just going to share with you the routes themselves. I'm going to recommend a couple of our packages, and then we're going to do a deeper dive into the group departure. So our first route is our first passage to the west. So this route, you can either, it's 2 days on board the train and you overnight in the town of Kamloops. So you can either board in Vancouver and travel eastbound and disembark the train in either Lake Louise or Banff, or you can board in the east and travel west to Vancouver, whatever floats your boat. Now, this is our most popular route. It has the most historic significance for Canada, as this is where the last spike was driven to unify BC with the rest of the nation. Some of the highlights of this route are the Vermilion Lakes, which are just outside of Banff, absolutely spectacular. And Castle Mountain is always a great photo op when we pass by that. Now, I'm terrified of heights, so the Stony Creek Bridge is not a highlight of mine. However, it is a highlight for many of our guests. But my favorite part of First Passage to the West itineraries is the spiral tunnels. So there's no photo of it here on the slide, but essentially it is a spiral tunnel, hence the name, down the side of the mountain that allows the train to descend at a safe speed and grade. The wacky part, though, is when you're on the train and you're in the tunnel, you think you're leaning to the left. However, if you look at the car in front of us, we're actually going the opposite direction. And when you're coming out of the tunnel at the bottom, if you look up quickly, you can see the end of the train entering the tunnel above you. So it is an engineering marvel for sure. Our next route is our journey through the clouds route. So similar to our First Passage to the West, you can either board or end your journey with us in Vancouver. The alternative is boarding or ending in Jasper. And this is 2 days again, so we'll be overnighting in the town of Kamloops. Now, the biggest highlight of this particular journey is Pyramid Falls. So this is a massive waterfall. You can usually hear it way before you can see it. It's 700 feet tall and it pounds down on two really large rock formations. And if you happen to be outside on the viewing platform, you might get a little wet. It's kind of like a Maid of the Mist. If especially if you're traveling with us in the springtime and the water levels are a bit higher. Another big feature of this particular route is Mount Robson, highest peak in the Canadian Rockies. You can't really miss it when you're out that way. And of course, we're going right through Jasper National Park. Now, I know that's probably the elephant in the room, what's going on with Jasper. So Donna and I actually were in Jasper when the evacuation order was given. So we evacuated with 25,000 other people. But thankfully, Jasper is on the mend. There's rail service, not with us, but with VIA that has been going back in since the end of September. And then as our season doesn't kick off again until mid-April, we'll be back there to help Jasperites recover from this incredible loss. So Malign Lake, all of our hotel partners in Jasper, the train station, everything is fine and functional. And these are elk, just in case you haven't been through Jasper National Park. So on the Journey Through the Clouds route, when you're going through Jasper, you are almost guaranteed to see elk. They're kind of everywhere. They're kind of like squirrels in Ontario. So but they are really a lot of excitement for guests who've never seen them before. And our last route in Canada is very special for two major reasons. This is our 3-day rail route, Rainforest to Gold Rush. So similar to Journey Through the Clouds, you can either board in Vancouver or Jasper. However, we'll be overnighting in the towns of Whistler and Quesnel. Okay, so one thing I love about this route is the fact that, as you can notice from the map, Vancouver to Whistler is not that far. So you have the remainder of that day and the overnight to explore Whistler, which is really, really nice. And Quesnel is an old mining town up north in northern British Columbia. So just a nice place to stop and break up the rail route. So the other reason that this route is very special is it's only available in gold leaf service. So 3 days, gold rush route, only gold service level. So no silver on this particular route. The biggest highlight, hands down, is that if you look at the image on the left there, that's Howe Sound, and it is absolutely breathtaking. And as you can see, the rail line hugs the coastline all the way up. And this scenery is only visible via train, and there's no roads around it. It's really unspoiled, and the sound itself is dotted with all these fjords, and you kind of feel like you're in Norway or somewhere. But again, it's right in our own backyard, which is really spectacular. And, it's nice to be a tourist at home. And then, of course, Mount Robson again, and then a bridge, which again, I'm afraid of heights, so not a fan. Now, looking at some featured packages. So, as I mentioned, all of our routes begin or end in Vancouver. So we are a fantastic add-on if any of you are embarking on an Alaskan cruise. We're great for pre and post. And our season actually aligns almost perfectly with the Alaskan cruise season. So something to keep in mind. Reach out to your Team Friesen advisor if you'd like to add a pre-post Rocky Mountaineer trip to your upcoming Alaskan cruise. Now, I went through the core rail routes with you, and if you wanted something slightly longer than just the rail only, that would be our classic packages. So our shortest packages are 5 nights, and it's really quite easy to remember. It's 2 nights before your rail journey and 2 nights at the end in hotels. So that would be 2 nights in Vancouver and then 2 nights in a mountain town, whether that's Jasper, Banff, or Lake Louise, depending on which route and itinerary you decide to choose. Now, if you're looking for something longer, this is our Grand Enchilada for Canada. This is the Grand Adventure Circle Journey. So this basically is a combination of Rainforest to Gold Rush as well as First Passage to the West. So if you're only going to do the Rockies once in your life, then is the journey for you. It is 11 or 13 nights. So we can remove a night on either end of the journey in Vancouver. So essentially, it would be a night in Vancouver, your overnight in Whistler and Quesnel, and then you'll have 2 magnificent evenings in Jasper, Lake Louise, and Banff, and then an overnight in Kamloops, and then again ending in Vancouver. So that is a spectacular journey for sure. But what I really wanted to share with you today is a little bit more about the group departure and just a booking tip regarding Lake Louise before I dig into the group. It sells out every year. So if you do want to stay at the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, you do need to book early. And it's even in higher demand this year next year, 2025 season. The spa is actually complete now. And the spa is limited to 90 people a day, and they must be guests of the hotel. It's not open to the public, as well as all of the rooms have been renovated now and have air conditioning. Sorry, it's raining and I apologize. So to dig a little deeper into the Team Friesen Rocky Mountaineer group departure, we are departing on May 4th to 10th in 2025. Now, I love this itinerary so much. We are doing First Passage to the West, and we are beginning our journey in Calgary. Now, this group is in Gold Leaf throughout for both our hotel and our rail selection. So it is the creme de la creme. And it is 6 nights hotel accommodation as well as 2 days on board Rocky Mountaineer, starting off in Calgary. So we'll arrive anytime into Calgary on May 4th. It's also fondly known as Cowtown, if you didn't know that. And what I love about Calgary is it's sort of the southwest of Canada, right? So it has a very youthful vitality as well as a frontier spirit. And it's just east of the Rockies. It's fairly dynamic. It's great for people who are outdoorsy. There's lots of trails and things that you can do. There's great art museums. There's the Calgary Tower right there as well. And walking just along the promenade on the river is also so relaxing to do that. So that's May 4th. We'll arrive into Calgary anytime, and you'll be overnighting at one of my favorite hotels in Calgary. She is the Grand Dame of Calgary for sure. It's a hotel icon, the Fairmont Hotel Palliser. So the lobby here is just grand, and it kind of brings you back. This hotel's been around for over 100 years, and you can see the opulence in the lobby when you come in with the chandeliers. It's very conveniently located. As you can see, the Calgary Tower is just a few blocks away, and it's right in the heart of town. So lots of great shopping and dining right there at your fingertips. So we'll be staying at the Fairmont Hotel Palliser for one night. And then the next morning, we're going to be getting up, and we'll be boarding a private coach and starting our journey towards Banff. So this will be a full day sightseeing on the way. So we're going to be stopping off at Bowes Falls, Surprise Corner, and the Hoodoos. And I have to say, one of the biggest highlights of this day when we're transferring from Calgary to Banff is the Banff Gondola. So this is right in Banff. If you haven't done it, you're gonna love it. It is an 8-minute journey up Sulphur Mountain in these little gondolas that hold 4 people. It only takes 8 minutes, which is good, especially if you're afraid of heights like myself. But once you get up there, it is spectacular. This is the view over 6 mountain ranges, so it is gorgeous. If anybody is on the line tonight that is afraid of heights, there is a bar on the top as well. So if you kind of need to some liquid courage to come back down, I totally understand. But once you get up there, like I said, the views are just unbelievable. So once we get into Banff, we'll be staying at the Moose Hotel and Suites. And this is actually where Donna and I stayed back in July when we were there. I love this hotel so much. It's right in the heart of on Banff Ave. So there's lots of shopping and dining options. It's rustic, and it has like a wood burning fireplace in the lobby. And it has just all the decor is like warm, earthy tones and natural natural decor. The hotel itself, just to let you know, there's lots to do. So they do have an on-site spa, and they have multiple pools. So they even have a rooftop hot tub and pool. They also have an indoor pool as well. So if it's a little inclement, you can always use the indoor pool. And they have an on-site Italian restaurant as well that we ate at, and it's fabulous. So, but like I said, there's tons to do. And when you're in Banff, there is public transportation, so you can jump on that, and it'll take you, if you don't want to walk, it can take you around the town as well. So this is a great shot of Banff. Lots to do here. So we'll be staying at the Moose for 2 nights. And the best part about that is you have a free day in Banff to go off and explore. So whether or not you want to do some, sightseeing, maybe you want to take in the spa, or maybe you just want to do some great shopping, the next day is yours to do what you like and to customize your Banff experience to your own personal style, budgets, and personalities. And then the next day, we're going to get up really early, pick up around 7 a.m. from the moose. Your bags will already be tagged, so we're not worrying about those. And it's rail day. So we're going to, one of my colleagues will meet you in the lobby of the hotel. Everybody will get on board the coach and will take you to the Banff rail station where you will board the Rocky Mountaineer for your first day. And of course, we'll be traveling from Banff to Kamloops. And once you're on board, like I said, the culinary experience is out of this world with your gourmet breakfast, your gourmet lunch, your snacks all day long, as well as your beverages. So I do recommend you wear your stretchy pants because it is just a feast for the senses for sure. And I always get asked, well, what about dinner? So we don't include dinner because most people are so stuffed when they get off the train. You're not really hungry once you get into Kamloops. So I'm going to share with you a gold leaf video just to kind of imagine yourself on board Rocky Mountaineer in gold leaf service. That's what's in store for you. Today, when we're traveling on day one on the train, we'll be going through the Continental Divide. You'll be able to experience those incredible spiral tunnels, as I mentioned. Plus, we'll also go past Rogers Pass, where the last spike was driven, as well as Kicking Horse Canyon before arriving into Kamloops that evening. Now, Kamloops itself is just a cute little riverside city. It's where we break up our rail journey just to make sure that you get enough time to get a restorative sleep. And we're not there that long, about 12-14 hours, just enough time for you to maybe take an evening walk or maybe go out to one of the local restaurants and do some people watching or get together with some of the amazing fellow travelers that you've met on board that day. So the next morning, we'll be back on board the train for day two. Today we're in for a treat because we'll be traveling from the interior into the Fraser Valley area, which is very lush and green and full of agriculture on our way to Vancouver. So I always like to share this photo. So I myself don't love salmon, but I met this lady once who was a former guest at an event, and she came running up to me. She was so excited to see Rocky Mountaineer. And she came up and she's like, I'm so glad you're here. I just wanted to share with you my experience when I was on board. She's like, I treated myself to a Rocky Mountaineer journey along with an Alaskan cruise for my 75th birthday. And she said, we did the cruise first. And, I love salmon. I had it literally for breakfast, lunch, and dinner throughout my Alaskan cruise. And she's like, I just wanted to let you know the best salmon I had in my entire journey was on the train. She's like, hands down, the best salmon I had. So I always joke with our CEO that we should open a restaurant in Vancouver because we just get such rave reviews about our culinary and, you know, amazing efforts from our executive chef. Now, something else that the Gold Leaf Domes boast is our outdoor viewing platform. So this is a great place that everyone likes to get up, stretch their legs, go out and get some amazing photos and videos. Just don't do what this woman's doing and keep your limbs in. And it is a great place just to get some mountain fresh air. It can hold about 30 people, to be quite honest. And it's a huge highlight for anyone in Gold Leaf. I also just wanted to share that there's no smoking or vaping on the train anywhere, even on the outdoor viewing platform. So just something to be, aware of. If anyone who would like to, any guests are smokers, we do have Nicorette on board to help support you through the day. But we always tend to know who the smokers are because when we get into Kamloops, they're very excited to get off the train while everyone else is, sipping on their glass of wine and doesn't want to leave. So the next, as we get into before we get into Vancouver, on the day two, like I said, we're going to be going through the Fraser Valley, on our way to the Pacific Ocean and the coastal city of Vancouver. We'll go through Hell's Gate, we'll be going past the Thompson River. And, like I said, it's really just incredible to me, the diversity of the landscape from all the way from Banff to Vancouver and watching how that changes. So we've gone from like river canyons and forests to basically, the green lush fields of the Fraser Valley. So then once we get into Vancouver, we'll come into our train station, and everybody will board motor coaches, and we'll be taking you to your final stop on this incredible group journey. And you'll be staying at one of my favorite hotels in Vancouver, the Fairmont Vancouver. Great property. It's in such an amazing location in Vancouver. And you'll be staying there for 2 beautiful nights. Great shopping, great dining around. And the best part is you're going to have a free day in Vancouver as well. So the day of May 9th will be a free day in Vancouver, and there's just so much to do, right? You can just go out and explore Yale Town, do some shopping if you want to. You can go off. This is the Capilano Suspension Bridge, so you could do some additional sightseeing if you like, or you could go to Stanley Park. You could even go over to Victoria if you wanted to, take the ferry over or fly back. So there's lots and lots that you can do in Vancouver. And then this is Grouse Mountain, so just another option. You can partake and go up Grouse Mountain in the larger cable car here. I will never be on the roof, just let you know that, but it is also a fabulous experience when you have your free day in Vancouver. Just a great shot of just that beautiful city. Lots to do, like I said, and then you'll have an additional night in Vancouver. Keep in mind when you're off the train again, it's your own adventure. So you can, if you want to be active, you can. If you want to go to the spa, you can. It's one of the things I really love about our packages is that it's not regimented. Everyone's not eating at the same hotel and the same restaurant and things like that. So you can really truly make it something special and unique, even though you're traveling with a group. And then I'm going to switch vibes on you here, and we're going to head down south. I'm just going to share a little bit of information on our US route before I get into our awesome promotions. So our US route, Rockies to the Red Rocks, as I mentioned, it operates between Denver and Moab with an overnight in Glenwood Springs. So 2 days on board the train. And just like in Canada, all your meals, your drinks, your overnight accommodation are all included. Just a little bit of a booking tip. If you are boarding in Moab, we board the train in the afternoon, which is something I really love. So it's very unique to this route. And you'll have hot appetizers, and then you'll have dinner on board the train before getting to Glenwood Springs. Moab to Glenwood is only about 5 hours, so we're still going to get into Glenwood in the evening. There is a hot spring right in Glenwood. It's a small little town, so you will still have time to go in, experience the thermal properties of the hot springs if you wish. And then, of course, the next day, Glenwood to Denver, that's about 8 hours on board. If you're boarding in Denver, then it's more of a traditional Rocky Mountaineer day where it'll be a morning departure and you'll have breakfast and lunch on board the train. Down south, we have Silverleaf again, just like in Canada, as our lead-in. So here's a great interior shot. And of course, our menu is very Southwest inspired and everything is locally sourced. And just like in Canada, if you have any dietary restrictions or allergies, just let Team Friesen know so we can make the notes on your booking. Now, something very special down in the US. So our gold leaf domes that we have in Canada cannot fit through the Continental Divide on the US route. So what we've done instead is we have this incredible Silver Leaf Plus upgrade. So it has to be booked with Team Friesen. You cannot upgrade on the train once you're in destination, and it gives you access to 2 lounge cars. So in these lounge cars, they both have their own bartenders and mixologists, so you can sip on handcrafted cocktails, and it's the social hub of the train. Because we don't have that interaction like we do in Gold Leaf when you're dining with others, this is a great alternative, and nothing is more traditional to rail travel, in my opinion anyway, than having lounge cars. So everybody gets to sort of spread out over 3 cars, and it gives everyone lots of room. And like I said, it's a great social aspect of that route. We do have a couple of packages for our US route as well. One is a transfer up to Salt Lake City. So that's indicated by the green dotted line there. So it is ground transportation. And it opens the door for flights back home to Canada. Or, an alternative if you wanted to rent a car or an RV or something like that and explore that area a little bit more on your own. Salt Lake City is a great place to pick up those rentals. It can be a bit challenging to do that in Moab proper. And then we do have a longer package to Las Vegas as well, which I'll show you in just a sec. Denver is incredible. So if you haven't been, come in early. One, get acclimatized to the altitude because it is known as Mile High City for a reason. But they have great art museums, great dining scene. It's known for its ciders and independent breweries, and it's a huge, huge, huge sports city and very well connected to the airport. Glenwood, this is our train in Glenwood Springs. I swear the town is, you could walk the whole thing in 8 minutes. And all of our hotels are very, very close to the station. We do find that most guests will walk to the hotel just so they can get the lay of the land, especially since their bags are already in their hotel rooms. But we do have transportation if you need it. But like I said, most people will kind of walk to their hotel because the furthest one is 5 minutes. This is also where Doc Holliday's Tavern is. So if you're a history buff, it's just around the corner. And then once you get into Moab, Moab is spectacular. I have to say it's a little difficult to get to, but that's what makes it so special. It's a hidden gem, and Arches National Park, Canyonlands National Park are literally within a 15-20 minute drive, as well as Dead Horse Point State Park. And everything is locally, run. So local restaurants and little artisan shops and things like that. So it's really a cool place. Lots to do down there. So if you're into adventure or soft adventure, I recommend that you book everything beforehand with one of our partners, Moab Adventure Center. So they do everything from like Jeep rentals, to whitewater rafting to off-road. So they're your be-all and end-all in destination. And this is just an amazing photo of Arches National Park. It's truly, truly spectacular. These images don't do it any justice. And as I said, Salt Lake is another great option if you're going to be connecting back to Canada for direct flights or a little more direct. And like I said, or picking up some car rentals or RVs. And then we have a larger package to Las Vegas, or you can start in Vegas and do your rail journey at the end. But it would be 2 nights in Denver. So you're going to come in, get acclimatized, get a good night's sleep. We're going to board the train and then head off to Glenwood, where we'll overnight, of course. And then we'll have 2 nights in Moab. And then the second morning, what we're going to do is we're going to pick you up just like we do on the motor coach. However, it's going to be a smaller Sprinter van. And we're going to take you to Capitol Reef National Park, as well as make our way to Bryce Canyon. You'll have time to explore Bryce. And we're going to overnight at Bryce Canyon. And so you can take in sunset and sunrise the next morning. And then we're going to carry on to Zion National Park and then end in Las Vegas. So as I mentioned, you can do it in reverse. One thing to note though, we do not, with our Canadian packages, we always include pre and post hotels. This one's a bit unique where we do not include accommodation in Las Vegas, just because Vegas, everybody has their own favorite properties there. So Team Friesen will be able to curate your Las Vegas adventure for you if you decide to join us for the Rockies to the Red Rocks route. And that's just a great shot of Bryce Canyon and the hoodoos there, and Zion National Park as well. And just a reminder, no accommodations included in Las Vegas. Team Friesen will be able to help you plan that. And I'm almost done before we get to questions. So we do have a couple of promotions. We have a Travel Again promotion. So if anybody joining us tonight has been on Rocky Mountaineer previously, you can save an additional $500 Canadian per couple on any 2025 Rockies journeys, or 560 Canadian per couple on any of our American Southwest journeys. So that's valid for all of next season. We currently are also running our Black Friday promotion. So this is not applicable to the group departure. However, if the group departure, the dates don't align with your schedules, or perhaps you want to do a different route, please reach out to Team Friesen before December 5th to take advantage of this very lucrative offer. So it's a savings of $2,000 Canadian per couple on our Canadian route packages 6 nights or longer, or $2,800 Canadian per couple on our US packages of 5 nights or more. So that's valid until December 5th. And also, I just wanted to point out, for the group departure, there are limited spaces left. Donna and team do need deposits by December 11th, just FYI, if not sooner, just because, like I said, the space is getting limited. And that will be hosted by a Team Friesen team member. So you'll have someone from the office join you as well, which is awesome to have somebody as a contact while traveling. And that's it for me. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Jen. I have a couple of questions in chat,
Yep.
so I'll read them to you.
Yep.
So the first one is, at what speed does the train travel?
Great question. So we travel nice and slow. So our whole point is to be as leisurely and relaxing as possible. So we usually travel at about 30 kilometers an hour, so you can take in all of that breathtaking scenery.
Yes, I have to say it was nice. It was easy to take pictures. It wasn't like, oh, it's gone too late. So
Yeah.
the next one is, do you have flexible payment plans?
Not really. So with Rocky Mountaineer, we do require deposit at time of booking, and then balance isn't due until 60 days prior to departure. And if you're speaking of the group, as I mentioned with the group, Donna and team do need deposits by December 11th, and then 60 days. Well, what's your final payment date, Donna? Sorry, I can't remember off the top.
You know what? Off the top, I'm just looking, I'm trying, I think, oh, March 5th.
March 5th. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So, and I'll just put something out there. Whether Rocky Mountaineer has travel plans, as long as you're booking in advance, we actually offer different payment plans as
Perfect.
well, or we can make payments whenever you like. So, yeah, you have some different options there as well that we can offer you. And then somebody asked, how much is the group travel in May? I can answer that because I'm not sure if Jen has that in front of her. So for the train itself, it's 57.80 49 based on double per person. And we also do have a solo rate as well. And I looked online the other day and it was substantially more. So it's a really great deal.
It is.
And it does include some excursions. So when I was looking at the one I was pricing out didn't even have excursions. So it was definitely a great deal. Does anybody else have any questions? You are free to like kind of unmute yourself or put it in the chat. But if you do have questions and maybe you don't know where the chat is because hey, not everybody's great on Zoom, I get that. Please feel free to reach out to one of our centers or your consultant by all means. Definitely they will be happy to help you. And I just want to say thank you so much for Jennifer. As always, it was amazing. And I have to say this summer, even though Jennifer and I did go through, what an experience with poor Jasper. It was heartbreaking, but you know what? It was still one of the most amazing trips of my life, I have to say. So thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, one more question.
Oh,
Does the silver class have an open area I think as in the gold is what I believe that means.
yeah, so it's not as large, but Silverleaf does have an outdoor area. It's we call it a vestibule, so it's literally the areas between the two cars. So it's not as, large as Gold Leaf, but you still definitely have somewhere to go and get some mountain fresh air and some crazy videos and photos to make all your friends and family jealous.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything? I don't want to rush anybody, but all right. I'm going to stop the recording here.
Perfect.